Hello everybody, welcome to World of Possibilities. My name is Shania, and today I'm going to be explaining measures of center to you guys. Now, the four measures of centers I'm going to be talking about today is the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Now, these aren't all of the measures of center, but these are the only four I'm going to be talking about today. Some other ones are the interquartile ranges, the mean absolute deviation, and outliers. But what all of these help you is to understand or gain more information about the data set. Now, what is a data set? Well, in this case, the data set is actually these here green numbers that I have written. So we have 33958. So let's say I say the mean is the average of the data set. I can represent this data set by also drawing a line plot. So how do I draw a line plot? I can draw a line plot like so. Now there will also be like a graph kind of situation like this, and it's gonna say let's say I have number of kids in a class. So it's going to be right here. We're going to write number of kids. And on this side, let's say number of pens they have. So let's say there are 5 kids. Oh, 2. There are 5 kids. And let's say the first kid has 2 pens, the second kid has 1 pen, the third kid has 3 pens, the fourth kid has 1 pen, and the fifth kid has 2 pens. So we can tell a lot of information just by this graph. We can see that kid number 3 has the most number of pens. We can see that the most frequent data value, in this case, which is like, we represent this as 1, 1, 2, and then each of these are 3s. This is a 4, and these 2 are 5s. So if we wrote it like this, then it would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5. So this is my data value. These are my data values, so this makes a data set. Now I can also tell that 1 and 2, so 1, there are 2 1s and one to 2, 3 3s, 1 4, and 2 5s. So I can tell that the most reoccurring number in this case is 3. So 3 would be my mode because it's the most frequent data value. In this case, 3. So we can represent data values and a data set in many different ways. But what we're going to work on is how to figure out the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So here we have our data set 33958. Now if you look here, it says the mean is the average of the data set. So that means if we were to spread each of these numbers equally on on the line plot or anywhere, then each of them would have the same number because it's the average and it will still add up to the same amount. So if you don't get it, what I mean is there are 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and how I can figure that out and make the average is on the number line or line plot, there would be each number 3, 9, 5, 8. 3 would have 2 x's because there are 2 3s. 9 would have 1x, 5 would have 1x, and 8 would have 1x. So if we were to add all of these up, so 3 plus 3 plus 9 plus 5 plus 8, which is equal to, let's do it, 6 plus 9, 15 plus 5, 20 plus 8, 28. That's the sum. So if you were to divide it equaling to 4 numbers, because there are 4 different numbers, that would give us 7. So if we were to divide it all equally like this, so there are 4 numbers, 3, 9, 5, 8. If we were to divide it like this, instead of this, it would be 7, 7, 7, 7. There would be 1x on each because it's divided equally. So that's what the average is. Average means if you were to divide it equally, it would be the same exact sum, except all in one number as the previous data set, which is also equivalent to this. So here's a really easy trick and how most people find the mean. First of all, they will add all the numbers in the data set, find its sum, and then they will take the number of data values, in this case 5. Actually, it's not the number of data values because 5 would be incorrect. There are 2 3s, so it's only 4 different data values. It has to be different. So I would take that, the sum, and divide it by the number of different data values. And there you go. You found your average, which is also your mean. Like I explained, if you were to divide it equally, it would be exactly same, 1, 7 for each of the 4 different types of numbers. So that is how you figure out the mean. So the mean is 7. Now, the median. The median is the middle value of the data set. Now, the middle value of the data set, not just like this. It needs to be in order from least to greatest. So let's note that down right here. Least to greatest. All right, so let's order it up. So 3, 3, 5, 8, 9. Do we have 5 numbers? Yes, we do. Now, an easy way to figure this out is I just cut the first and the last, the second to last and second, and then whichever number I've left, that's going to be my median. It has it in the name, median, middle. Doesn't it kind of make sense? Sound familiar? So we can figure out that the median is 5. Okay, but what if we have, this only works in odd numbers. What if we have an even number of numbers? So let's say my new data set, I add a 4 in here. So instead of 3, 3, 5, 8, 9, it's 3, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. So still same process. Oh no, look, I have 2 numbers now. What do? I find the mean of these numbers. How do I find the mean? I add these 2 numbers, so 4 plus 5. I divide that, the sum of it, by the number of numbers. In this case, it's 2, because 4 and 5. So 9 divided by 2, which is exactly 4.5, 4.5. So 4.5 would have been the median for this. So what does median do? Median basically gives you an idea of what number all the data values surround. So if you were to plot this, then all the numbers would surround there would be an equal number of numbers on the right side of 4.5 and an equal number of numbers on the left side of 4.5. It's smack in the middle. That's what the median means. And you can see that the mean and median are already connecting to each other. That's why I said that measures of center give you an idea of what numbers are plotted on the line plot. What numbers are you looking at? It gives you an identity of each number. So let's go ahead and move on to the mode. So the mode is the most frequent data value. So like I explained earlier in the line plot situation, 3 was the most reoccurring number because there were 3 of those numbers, and it was the most than the rest. The others only had 1 or 2 of that same number. So in this case, in this data set, which data value repeats itself the most? So we have 3, 9, 5, 8. So 3 repeats itself, let's see, 1, 2. 2 times. 9 repeats itself once. 5 repeats itself once, and 8 repeats itself also once. So by looking at this, you can see that 2 is the greatest number out of all of these. And which data value had occurred 2 times? 3. So this means that 3 is our most frequent data value. There you have it, that's your mode. So what does this give you an idea of? This, again, it's all measures of center. It gives you an idea of where and what these numbers are surrounding. That's why they're called measures of center. So how does that mode help you? The mode helps because it gives you an idea of, let's say, in the data set, the number having the most reoccurring the most number of times is a really, really big number compared to the data set. Let's say the data set is like 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and suddenly you get 50 out of nowhere. And 50 is reoccurring the most number of times. That means the average, the mean, will pull itself together closer to the bigger number because there's more of the bigger number. That's what the mode gives you an idea of. So the mode is 3. And don't worry, we will go over the formulas at the end. So let's move on to range. Again, range, honestly, I think it helps us the most, along with mean, in finding the spread of the data, because literally range's definition is the spread of the data. And it's very easy. All you have to do is measure the data set from least to greatest. It helps a lot. And you need to figure out the spread of the data. If you guys had a guess and it was subtracting the greatest value, 9, by the smallest value, 3, to find the difference of them, you were correct. So we have to do 9 minus 3, which is 6. So that literally means the range is 6 because all the numbers lie between 3 and 9. It's spread between 6 numbers. So that really helps us figure out, narrow it down, because it could be from 1 to 100. It could be from 5 to 50, who knows? But this range really gives you the idea of where the numbers lie. It lies between 6 numbers from 3 to 9. So we got the mean is 7, the median is 5, the mode is 3, and the range is 6. Now, let's go over the formulas for this stuff. formula for mean is sum of numbers divided by the number of numbers. And O is short for numbers. There's no really formula for median, but the way you have to go least to greatest and find the middle value. So L to G and the middle value. For mode is the most frequent data value, so the one that occurs the most, pretty easy. You need to count the number of times each number occurs, and if it's in a data, and if it's lined up in a line plot, then let's say one number is like this, like that, like this, and like that. So obviously, the number that's reoccurring itself the most is this number. 4 is reoccurring itself the most because there's 5 of 4s, so it's the most frequent data value. And for range, well, a range is just the greatest number subtracted by the least number. And yeah, there you got it. So this was it. These are all the measures of centers. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and share this with your other mathematician friends. Bye!